So let's see how our lab architecture is going to look like. So first we will be creating one VPC, and inside we will be creating one private subnet, and inside it we will be creating one EC2 machine. And then we will be creating one public subnet, and we'll be creating one EC2 machine inside it. And we are going to use this public EC2 machine as a jump box to connect to the private EC2. And then we will be deploying one S3 bucket in the same region. After this, we will be assigning IAM role so that we can access S3 bucket from this private EC2 machine. And then we will be deploying one gateway endpoint which will automatically create a entry in our private route table for the gateway endpoint for this particular AWS service. And then we will be doing a SSH to our public EC2 machine using the public IP, and from our public EC2 machine we will be doing SSH to private EC2 machine, and then we will be connecting to S3 bucket with the help of the gateway endpoint. So let's jump into our lab for today. In the interest of time, I'm already done with the creation of the VPC as well as the respective private and public subnet, and also respective EC2 machines. So if I go to my EC2 dashboard, you can see one private EC2 machine which is associated with the private subnet, and one public EC2 machine which is associated with the public subnet. So if I go here, I can see this is assigned to the public subnet. And also I have already one existing bucket in the OEO region which we will be using for our lab today. So currently I don't have any objects inside it. So as per our architecture, if you see it, we are done with the creation of the subnet and also the VPC. Now the remaining tasks are creation of the gateway endpoint and assigning the IAM role, and then trying to access this S3 bucket. So let's go back to our lab. So first I will log in into my private EC2 using public EC2 machine. So first I have to log in into the public EC2 machine using the public IP. Let's select this key pair. And also if you are getting confused, so please visit my previous lectures on basic networking where I've talked about all these concepts regarding EC2 subnet, public subnet, and also the key pair, etc. So please watch it if you feel the need. So click on open. So now I'm logged into this particular machine ending with 198. You can see 198 over here. Now if I select my private EC2 and click on connect and copy this particular SSH command and paste it over here. And also please note I already have this key pair present in my public EC2 machine. So let's paste this SSH command over here. And now I'm logged into my private EC2 machine. You can see the IP ending with 183 over here, and also you can see IP ending with 183 over here. So now if I try to ping some external URL, say google.com, I won't be able to do it because I don't have any NAT gateway or any other outside connectivity from this machine. Next step, I will create one text file which I will try to upload it to the S3 bucket. So let's say echo. Now I will try to upload this test file to my S3 bucket. So here I have one command which I am going to use, so which will copy this text file to my S3 bucket. So I will be needing the my bucket name for it. So if I go back to my AWS console and S3 bucket, now I will copy this CLI command and paste it over here. So it gives the message that unable to locate credentials. So this is because we don't have required IAM role attached to our private EC2 machine. Remember, we discussed this in our architecture. So if you see here, we are supposed to attach one IAM role so that we can access this S3 bucket. So what I will do here, I will go back to my EC2 instance, and this is my private EC2. So here, if I click on actions, go under security and click on modify IAM role. Here I have no role to attach, so I will be creating a new one. So let's hit on create. Let's select AWS service. Use case, for which service we will be using this IAM role. So we'll be using it for the EC2 instance. Click on next, and here what the permission policy we want to attach. So I will be searching for the S3. Here it says Amazon S3 full access. But this is just for the demo purpose. For the production, you should use the more strict permission policy. So we'll discuss how to create the permission policies and how to attach it to the particular role. We are going to discuss in some other lecture. If you see here, this particular permission has access to everything. So wildcard entry star and allow. Next, let's give it a name and click on create. Now role is created. I will go back to my EC2 and click on refresh. Here I can see it here. Click on update. Now if I try to access, I won't be able to, because this traffic is supposed to go via the public internet and we don't have any connectivity. That means we don't have any NAT instance or NAT gateway which allow us to have a public connectivity. So in order to connect to particular AWS service, in this case our S3 bucket, we have to use the VPC endpoint. So we'll be creating one for that so that we can connect to our S3 bucket over the private link. So if I go back to my VPC dashboard, and from the left hand side menu, if I go to the endpoints, click on create. Here give it a name. Select AWS service because S3 bucket is AWS service. Here I will be searching for S3. Now here you can see two S3 related. One is global access point and one is for this particular OEO region. So if I select this global access point, so I will be getting the option type, or endpoint option type will be only interface, because gateway endpoint will not work with the global connectivity. But if I choose that particular regional service, that means in the OEO S3, then I will be able to see the gateway and interface both. So now I will be selecting gateway. Here we will be selecting our VPC. It will automatically create the root table entry in our associated root table. So here it is asking in which root table we want to create the entry. So we want to go with the private one because we want to access that particular S3 bucket from our private EC2 machine. Now full access is fine, and let's click on create. So now our endpoint is created and we should be allowed to connect. So now you can see it has already uploaded this test file to this S3 bucket as soon as we created our VPC endpoint. So if I go here to my S3 bucket and if I click on refresh here, click on objects, and here I can see this file has been created at 12:29:06. and right now it's 12:30. So this is done. Now let's still verify just for the confirmation that don't have any outside connectivity. So if I go back to my ping command, I won't be able to ping. And suppose if I change the file name and if I try to upload this test2.txt, then also I will be able to upload this. If I go back to my S3 bucket and if I click refresh, I can see both of my test file are available here. So this marks the end of this lecture. So in the next lecture, we are going to discuss about interface endpoints and also about the private link service provided by the AWS and also some other related concepts which are very critical to the when it comes to the AWS networking. So I hope you liked this lecture. So please do provide your feedback. So thank you for watching and have a good day ahead. Thank you.